everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my October wrap-up. These are all the books that I read in October, which was spooky month, and I feel like today's gonna go a little bit more rapid fire because I did read a lot of books that were documented in vlogs, so I'm probably just gonna direct you into those places to get more detailed information in my live reactions about the books. But without further ado, let's just dive in. So this month, this lovely month of October, I read 11 books. Now my best reading month, this month I ended up reading a whole variety of books, but it was all middle of the range ratings for me. I had 1 5-star, 1 DNF, and then a bundle of 3, 3.5, and 4 stars. So it was very middle of the road. Wasn't anything like super exceptional or super terrible, I guess. So that's pretty great. So I had 2 3 stars, 4 3.5 stars, and 4 4 stars. Plus the 1 5-star in the DNF. I read fantasy and sci-fi and YA fiction, a romance, and a whole whack ton of mystery, horror, and thriller novels. As you guys will know if you've been hanging out with my channel very long, I did a reading out of my comfort zone for the month of October, which was focused on thrillers, horrors, and mysteries, which is why I read so many of those this month. Let's just get into it. So first and foremost, I read and I finished up all my reads of Becky Chambers' books, and I ended up reading The Galaxy and the Ground Within, and this one was just fabulous. It was just fabulous. I absolutely adored it. I think this is either my favorite or my second favorite of the entire bundle. I absolutely loved it. So this is the 4th Wayfarer's book in her whole Wayfarer series. Her Wayfarer series are it's like a series of companions. They don't necessarily need to be read in order, but they do all connect somehow, whether it's by character or by place or what have you, and it's all in the same world, or all in the same universe, I should say. But this one follows a cast of characters who get stranded in this little rest stop on this planet that there's really not much going on because of some cataclysmic event that happens in the sky above them and thus grounds them. And it's just them kind of hanging out and getting to know each other and kind of getting through some stuff at the same time. It's lovely, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave that one 5 stars. That was my 5-star of the month. Then I dove into my reading out of my comfort zone video where I read 8 books and DNF'd one of them, so 7 and DNF'd one, where I, dabbled in the thriller or horror or mystery genre with each book. So I read The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This one I gave 3 stars to. This one was okay. It wasn't what I really wanted out of the book, and it was a lot less fun than everybody on the internet seems to make it out to be. It is not fun. It is misogynistic and kind of awful to get through because of the way that the characters treat each other, and it's a lot. But yeah, 3 stars. Then I read Ace of Spades by Frida Abike Iyimide, and this one I also gave 3 stars to because it's YA, dark academia. It's Get Out meets Gossip Girl. It's about these 2 Black students who go to this school, this really highfalutin, private-y kind of school. They are the only 2 people of color at this school, and they start getting targeted very specifically by this anonymous ACEs figure who sends anonymous texts basically divulging their deepest, darkest secrets, and it's that whole thing. I enjoyed my reading experience, I guess. I just didn't love it very much. It didn't do it for me. I don't like reading about rich kids, and I've decided I just don't like reading about high school kids anymore. And when you combine the two, when you combine rich kids with high school kids, you get the worst kind of kid to read about, and I just don't like it. So that was only a 3-star book for me. Then for that video, I read My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, which was my friend's book club pick for this month, which aligned perfectly with this video that I was doing. I was very happy about it. This is a slasher, or a horror book that is analyzing the slasher movie genre in a way, and it was okay. I didn't love our narrator. Choosing her to be the narrator was a really interesting choice for the story, and I think it was really well done, a really well crafted story, but I only gave it 3.5 stars because I didn't really enjoy it that much. And in retrospect, I just don't think it was done to my liking, which is fine. This whole video experiment just really really told me what I like in my thriller or mystery novels, so that's kind of good. Then I read Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia for that video, and that one was also a 3.5 star. Again, I enjoyed it, but it dealt with some themes that I was not a fan of, and I don't know what it is about thrillers and horror books, but I like the first halves so much more than I like the rest of the book, and like the finding out what's actually wrong with the place kind of a book, or what's happening in behind the scenes. And I think that's just because it tears down the veil of like the spookiness, and then it shows you what really is going on, and it's just disappointing every time. I don't know why, but it just is. Mexican Gothic is fairly eerie and spooky, and it did get across all of its elements properly. I just didn't like love it, you know? I didn't love the characters. It was just a general fine book for me. And then I DNF'd The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I didn't get very far. I barely got like 10 minutes into the audiobook before I encountered a character I really didn't enjoy. He was a client of our main character who is a therapist, and this client of hers has no boundaries and is low-key stalking her and is self-harming. And I know that this man is a fairly large character in the whole book, and I had a bad feeling about the fact that he might be used as a spooky element, as like a, ooh, he's her stalker kind of a thing. So like, what if he's the one behind it all? I didn't want that. I got like a complete visceral reaction to that guy and to that situation that I was just like, you know what? That's a hard no for me, so I DNF'd it. The next one that I read was Finley Donovan is Killing It by El Cosimano, and this one I really liked. This one I gave 4 stars to. It was campy and ridiculous and just the perfect amount of like unbelievable that I loved it. I ate it up. It felt like a witty, almost like romantic comedy feeling to it. It was really, really good, and I will be reading more of El Cosimano's books in the future. Then I read Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This one was okay. Again, vaguely disappointing for some reason. It was a fantasy horror. It wasn't even that horror-y. We got a taste of the horror right at the beginning, but it just didn't bring it through the rest of it, and it read more YA and not like it really wanted to dig into the grit and the horror of the situation and really bring that to the forefront. So it was disappointing. I did like it enough, which is why I gave it 3.5 stars. And then to wrap up that video, I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which was a very satisfying and very well done thriller. I gave this one also 4 stars. That one kept me up that night when I finished it. I read it all in one sitting. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning and I still couldn't fall asleep. And it took me too long to be able to like fall asleep. And I haven't had a book do that to me in a long time where I'm like scared to go to sleep. So that one was really, really good. That was that video. If you want to know more about like my reading for that video, definitely go check it out. It's a good, fun time, and I really enjoyed my exploration on each of those books, and you'll also find out what each of those books is about in that video. I realize that I didn't describe any of them here, but there you go. Go watch the video. In the middle of all that, I read The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I finally got through this fantasy book. It has been on my shelves for so long. You guys have been around for a long time. You'll remember me having like started it and then I put it back on my shelves because I started it for a video that when I was filming the clip for, the original clip for the original opening clip, I broke my hand during that clip back in 2020. I broke this hand and it tainted the book for me so bad that even when I tried to pick it up later in the year, I only got halfway through and put it back down. Finally got through it and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. A very solid fantasy book, and I'm so excited to see where this series goes because I know it's a lot of people's absolute favorites. I loved the world building and I loved our characters, except for Ali Zaid. I really don't like him. I don't enjoy his perspective at all, so we're gonna see how he grows on me, I guess, in the series. But it is about Nahri, who is a con woman, and at the beginning of this, she accidentally summons a jinn, or a deva? A jinn warrior, a deva, who is named Dara, and the two of them flee to a like magical world called Devabad, and this is the legendary city of Brass, and it's like their quest there, and then it follows Prince Ali Zaid, who is there already, and it's the political and stereotyped relationship of all these different kinds of creatures and people. It's very good, and I'm excited to see where the next one goes when I do read it, which hopefully will be soon. The last 2 books that I read this month were in my Halloween reading vlog. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. I just posted it this morning that I'm filming this video, so that's very exciting. Just a little Halloween-y vlog where I read some witchy books. I read The X-Hex by Erin Sterling, which is a pen name for another author. I can't remember her name though. And it was good, like small town romance vibes, definitely a middle of the road romance, nothing like too memorable. But I loved the witchy vibes for this time of year. It felt like I was in Stars Hollow, but with magic. It was a good time, and I do highly recommend it for that feeling exactly. And then I read The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook, and this was a gothic witchy read, and I really enjoyed this. I gave this one 4 stars. Oh, and I gave The X-Hex 3.5 stars. But this one, I gave 4 stars, and it was so intriguing to me. I really loved what C.J. Cook did with the elements of witchcraft in here. I won't spoil anything for you guys because it is like a big plot thing as to like what goes on in this lighthouse and what goes on with these characters. But it just, it was so delicious. I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna be probably checking out more from C.J. Cook as well because I know they also wrote The Nesting, which is another gothic horror. So this one went over really well. I wasn't enjoying the 2 timelines originally because we follow a timeline in like the now, 2021, and then we follow a timeline in 1998 when this was happening. So basically it follows, for the most part, Luna, who is a sister, who is the middle sister of this family, and in 2021, she's the only one left. Her 2 sisters and her mom went missing when she was 9, and she's been living without them since. And then the previous timeline follows the mom of these girls when they go to this lighthouse in Scotland and have to live there, and like, all this mysterious stuff is happening. It's quite good. I do recommend it. It gets a little gory near the end, which is always fun. But yes, I fell in love with how C.J. Cook crafted the story. It wasn't like a normal crafting of a story, but I really enjoyed the reading experience, and it went really quickly. Anyways, my friends, that's all I read in the month of October. As I said, most of the books that I read this month were documented in vlog form. So if you want to hear more about each of those books that I talked about, except for the Becky Chambers and this one, they weren't documented in any vlog really. Go check them out. I will link them down below. My Out of My Comfort Zone for thrillers, horrors, and mysteries, and then my Halloween vlog as well for the last 2. That is what I read in October. Next up, we have November. And since this year has been kind of a weird reading year for me, and November is going to be very busy for me because I am going to be moving at some point this month. I get the keys to my place the 15th of November, so in like just over a week and a bit, and then we're going to be doing a lot of work to the place, and then I will be moving in. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done, so what I'm going to be doing this month is focusing on finishing up books that I have on the go. So like the 2nd book of Wheel of Time, I'm going to be finishing that one, The Great Hunt, and I am also going to try and finish The Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, which I've started, and I'm 100 and so odd pages into it. And I'm also in a sci-fi book that I'm enjoying as well. Oh, and I also have a book club pick that I picked for this month for my friends and I, which is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. So that one I will definitely be reading, but really November is just gonna be me trying to read books that I've been meaning to read for a while and just like finishing up reads and reading what I want. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like this video and subscribe if you care to do so, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.